ウィッチャー2パート25。今回から第3章ロックムイン編になります。本パートは
Has Radovid's messenger been by?
戦闘なしの界隈イベントだけ
And
にな
what
り
did
ま
he
す。
say?
Temeria cannot survive. The kingdom will be divided. The nobles are riled. Constable Natalis stands on shaky ground.
The loyal old Natalis will get kicked in the ass. How predictable.
They nearly reached an agreement, but without Foltest's daughter, it didn't work out.
Perfect. Are the quarters ready?
There is a little problem.
Then we must look at this problem. There's no door.
We can't lock her in a doorless cell.
I can see that, you fool. Out of my way. Uncle Death Mold will cast a tiny spell on your little house. Versa Anemo. We won't let that naughty Natalis get you. Clear up in here. This is Loch Muin, not a bloody pigsty.
Oh, bollocks, Geralt. Marshal Raupenek was a cruel, bloodthirsty prick, true. But the times were different.
He had his men murder every last elf in Loch Muin.
For years, Yorveth and his ilk have been using that banner to wipe their asses clean of the shit they do. In wartime, a commander's forced to make all kinds of decisions. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it lay really heavily on Raupenek's conscience.
Bollocks again. I've already admitted he was a prick. Are you defending the Enshe? They've got barrels of blood on their hands as well. With the Vrans gone, we had to safeguard this source of the power, safeguard this historic city. Huh, elven drivel. Heaps of lizard-like bones were found in nearby caves, all bearing traces of sword cuts. Think what you will. I'm more interested in the city's current inhabitants.
Why am I worried you're going to do something really stupid once we get there?
Above all, I'll find the cure to my suffering.
Deathmold was just a pawn in Henselt's hands.
Deathmold is a bloody murderer, and Henselt was a king. A king I killed. He didn't believe I'd do it till the very end. Nor did I. It's not something I want to discuss again. I don't know if I'll ever strike those images from my mind, but I know I don't want to talk about it.
Taking revenge on Deathmold won't change a thing.
Oh, but it will. The ghosts of my comrades will drink to my health. They're here with Radovid. After losing their foothold in Temeria, they rebuilt their position at the Redanian court. You best stay out of sight. You never know with those bigots.
Yeah, we also had a little disagreement recently. They could be holding a grudge.
I'll explain that your presence in Loch Muin is necessary.
What now? What can we expect to see in the city?
Separate camps, buffer zones, and frequent patrols. Well, that's how it should be organized if those mages from the Conclave have any sense.
Ah, another area of your expertise.
The Peace of Sintra was signed on April the 2nd, and all around was quiet, calm, and orderly. If you don't count Henselt's roars and the all-night festivities of the Mahakam Volunteer Army. And the common folk were positively thrilled with the parade that followed. Yet, not one of those fuckers even knew that I, and a few others like me, spent a week poring over the city map and devising a way to keep those crowned idiots separate, just in case one decided to deal the next blow in a long-standing feud. In any case, I hope to see something similar here.
Relax. The mages want royal gold. They'll make sure all the sources of financing remain alive and present, at least until the inevitable quarrel over the Pontar Valley breaks out.
Well, we'll see if there is indeed a way where there's a will. If we're separated, we'll meet up again in the main square.
Fine.
Halt! Who goes there?
Vernon Roach and Geralt of Rivia, in the service of Temeria.
Foltest's killer in the service of Temeria.
Foltest's killer is in Loch Muin. Geralt of Rivia will help me capture him.
I couldn't give a pig's ass who killed Foltest, but this bastard raised his hand against the Order, and I'll not let him pass.
In that case, I'll walk in over your dead body, brother.
Bear in mind that peace negotiations are underway behind those walls. I'll have no blood spilt here. Why are the Knights of the Order of the Flaming Rose here?
We're here on the invitation of His Majesty King Radovid.
Radovid can invite anyone he wants to Redania. Problem is, this isn't Redania.
Questioning the king's will.
If Radovid invited you here, why are you encamped outside the city?
We're not part of the official delegation.
Well, we're on our way to an official audience with King Radovid. He's expecting us. So stand aside.
ロックムインの
Looks
外
like
にいる
Radovid
炎
doesn't
のバラ騎
believe
士
the
団は
peace
一
talks
作
will
目に
end
登場した
peacefully.
団体。
You can be sure
彼
of
らは
one
世
thing.
界に終焉
Not a
が
soul is
訪
to
れ
be
ると
trusted.
いう一輪の予言から
Not a
人
soul to be
々を
trusted
守る
at
という
any time,
大義を
anywhere,
掲げていましたが、
period.
彼らのリーダー、騎士団長あるブレヒトは目的を叶えるためには手段を選ばない人らしく、ウィッチャーの変異剤を得るために悪党集団サラマンドラと手を組みケイアモルヘンを襲撃し強奪、盗んだ変異剤
I
で
shall
最
pray
強
for
の
you.
人類を作
In
るべ
its
き人体
radiance
実験を言っていま
I
した。
shall
彼
pray
は
for
一
you.
輪の予言に耐えられる最強の国を作る理想にとらわれる無双家でしたが、ゲラルトにとって
Witcher
彼は仲間の旧変異剤の盗人と国を滅ぼそうとする存在だったため処刑されました。騎士団長死後、ゲラルトの集めた証拠とクーデターの件で騎士団の立場は地に落ち、今は傭兵剣カルトを治む派の団体と見られています。騎士団の失墜の原因は8割方ゲラルトの勢難で恨まれているわけです。
Ready for your chat with Radovid?
No reason to delay it.
Follow me then.
Halt!
We're here to meet King Radovid.
Have you been granted an official audience?
We have information about the Kingslayers.
Everyone knows the killer is the Witcher from Rivia.
Then everyone is wrong.
Not my concern. I cannot risk placing the King of Redania in harm's way.
We bring Radovid news that will strengthen his position during the talks. Care to risk his wrath? Besides, this camp is swarming with soldiers. We'd have to be stupid or suicidal to attack Radovid.
Pass then, if your news is so important. But one word from the King and you'll hang. Both of you.
Don't you worry about us. Little chance of surviving if Radovid has made terms with Kedwin.
Even less if he's made a pact with Nilfgaard. He and the Emperor could divide the entire north between them.
I take pleasure in seeing Kedwin picked apart.
But they'd start with the country deepest in chaos. So you'd best hope nothing of that sort has happened.
Geralt of Rivia.
Your Majesty.
As usual, you turn up where and when you're least expected. And in such company. I never thought they'd make a soldier out of you.
Vernon Roach is a friend. He's in uniform, sure, but that's meaningless.
The world has changed greatly since we met those few months ago. Temeria stands at the brink of civil war. Kedwin has taken the Pontar Valley by force, and a Nilfgaardian delegation plays a prominent role at the summit of the Northern Kingdoms. Foltest and Demavend are both dead. Though it seems we were signing treaties just yesterday. Henselt was butchered in Vergen.
What's the delegation from Nilfgaard doing here?
Henselt invited them. Before he died. Shillard Fitzhestelon would never miss an opportunity like this one. He'll come to the talks and stage his favorite drama.
Why did you bring the Knights of the Order here, Your Majesty?
The Order of the Flaming Rose is here to ensure that the talks remain peaceful. We wish to avoid a second Thaned.
I've come here for help, Your Majesty.
Wait, Witcher. Were it not for you, Henselt would have perished at the hands of an assassin. Am I right?
I only delayed his death.
Do you know how he died?
I wasn't there.
The first lie of the day, and the negotiations have yet to begin. How can I help you if you're not honest with me?
I killed him. Henselt had Roach's unit murdered. I can't call it anything else. In doing that, he signed his own death sentence. When he was looking for Saskia in Vergen after the battle, I cornered him in a hut and I killed him.
It all sounds very noble, Witcher. But a noble lie is a lie nevertheless. I think I know what happened there. Yet even though at least one of you is a Kingslayer, I can possibly use you both. You said you needed help, Witcher. Tell me more.
If Temeria is in turmoil, then who has arrived to represent it?
Constable Natalis, the hero of Brenner, which is good. His presence is like a slap on Shillard's face delivered by the North.
Who's representing Kedwen?
Only the sorcerer Deathmold and his men are in Lochmuin. But Deathmold represents himself.
Sheila de Tanzerville is behind the murderers that hit Temeria, Eddern, and Kedwen.
How do you know?
We killed one of them in Eddern. Deathmold used his magic to give me a glimpse of the past. I saw the assassin talking to others. They spoke of Sheila.
One mage's magic shows another's guilt. And it's no ordinary magic, but the forbidden path of necromancy. It all makes sense. Shillard Fitzestelin warned me about a plot. Apparently, Triss Merigold confessed to him that the sorceresses had set up a secret lodge.
Triss is working with Shillard?
She's been detained as a suspect. Shillard believes the sorceresses of Nilfgaard were also part of the conspiracy. Luckily, the entire amphitheatre is under a spell that quells any magic. Otherwise, no one would dare go near all those mages. Well, the talks beckon. Everyone wants to see Temeria's bitter end.
What do you mean by that, Your Majesty?
The nobles are rebelling in Vizima. Lacking a ruler, they simply want to divide the kingdom into provinces.
Divide Temeria! Shame on the traitors!
Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Anais, the daughter of Louisa and Foltest, lives still. After Foltest's death, the La Valettes came to prominence. Louisa's uncle, Baron Orville, became one of the most important people in Temeria. He wanted to see Anais on the throne, but Vizima was still in turmoil. They sent her to Lochmuin anyway to declare her queen before the entire north. During the journey, the girl was kidnapped. Arian La Valette asked me to use my connections to find his sister, which I did. My people tell me Anais is here in Lochmuin, in Deathmold's hands. I cannot mount an armed attack on the Kedwenis. It would be tantamount to declaring war, and we have gathered here to maintain peace. A lone witcher and a former soldier. That would be a different matter. Bring me Anais, Geralt, and I'll salvage a united Temeria, and punish those whose hands are stained with the Temerian king's blood.
What about Sheila?
Easy, Witcher. I have ways to deal with impertinent sorceresses. I have managed to tame Philippa Eilhart. Why shouldn't I do so with Sheila de Tanzerville as well? The girl is most important, Witcher. I would look after her. Take her back to Tretogor in Redania, where she would mature under the caring gaze of her half-sister and my wife Ada. When she's of age, she can claim the throne and thus guarantee Temeria's sovereignty. I must attend these talks, Geralt. Time is short. Bring me the girl, the two of you. Men without country or commander. Renegades that no one seems to have taken into account. I, in turn, promise that Sheila de Tanzerville will pay for her deeds. I shall punish her with fire and steel.
It's our only chance at preserving Temeria's independence.
It's still risky.
Anais, she's the key.
I still wonder about Busi's death. The boy would have had a stronger claim to the throne.
Maybe Anais can tell us something. It's high time we visited our old friend, Deathmold.
The Emperor's men hold Triss. They'll get everything they can out of her, after which she'll be dispensable.
If it's between the sorceress's life and Temeria's future, then I've no choice. I'm sorry. This is no place to talk. Let's wait till we're beyond the gate.
レダニア王から北方諸国の混乱を抑えるにはテメリアの継承権を持つアナイスが必要だという。アナイスはデスモルドの計画でケイドウェン軍に囚われているそう。彼女がテメリア存続の鍵になるからアナイスの所在を調べて助け出そうと思います。というわけで次回はアナイスの手がかりを探すことにします。導入クエも終わったことだし今回は終わりにします。